Hello everyone, Joshua here. I've just got something to ask you. Have you ever been depressed before? Well, it's one of those things that you don't really like, is it? Because, as you probably know, I've been a little bit depressed for a while now. I can't exactly explain the reason why I've been a bit depressed, just that I guess I have been depressed for a while. Just I guess it's because not many of us have things to do, and the essential workers, you could say, have a bit of fun, but I'm sure even they tend to get a bit depressed since they have to stay home most of the time and things like that. But I just feel very depressed and bored, I guess, because I just don't feel very happy. Again, I just can't explain why I feel very depressed, just I guess I am. But why do people get depressed? Well, my theory is that since I'm a Catholic or a Christian, whatever way you want to look at it, I am wanting to speak to God. But for me, I find it hard to pour out all my heart and all my soul and that to Him. But I'm sure there are some people out there who can find out how to and maybe even leave in the comments why they can do it and how they can do it, because I feel like I need help. I feel like I just want to go to church and pray, or pray and pour out all my heart and all my soul and all that. But some of you who know me know I can't really read properly or write very well, much. So just for me, I just find it very, very hard to live life. I mean, again, I can live life and there are things I can do. It's just that I don't feel very happy with my life. Sometimes I feel like I just want to give it all up and things, but I know I've been put on earth for a purpose. There's a reason why all of us have been put on the earth. Just sometimes it makes us find it very hard to realize how and why we've been put onto earth, because some of us don't really know our purpose in life. I don't really know very much about my purpose either, because again, I just find it very hard to live with life and other things. Like, just even in my home life, I find it very stressful because there tends to be fights a lot. There tends to be like arguments and yelling and screaming and all that. Just, I can't explain why a lot of people go through that. I mean, just the biggest question is why? Sometimes the reason I ask to myself is, why can't God and Jesus and all that speak to us and help us guide through life? And if they did, then they could possibly help us through life and explain to us and help us guide our way through things like depression, stress, anger, and a lot of other things. Just why? Why do we have stress, anger, problems, depression, and things like that? Why do things have to be this way? I mean, again, as I said to you before, I have problems in my life that I don't exactly know how to uh, deal with, because, and it's not because I'm putting hatred on Jesus and God and all that if you're a Christian or a Catholic or something. Just that I want to find out why we can't talk, I guess, because it just, for me, I just find it very hard, because just, what do you think? Have you ever been through things like me? Because, again, it's not because I can't, like, we can't go out and all that. It's just everyone has depression and anxiety and all that differently. I mean, some people don't let their children out because of maybe very big fears or something, or maybe because your child has had history. I mean, we've all had history, but if we don't learn from it and possibly try and go out and see what life brings us, I mean, for people who get arrested, sometimes it can be a good thing, but sometimes it can be a bad thing because people can get arrested in the wrong way and other things can happen too. So just why do things happen and have to be this way? I mean, again, if you know how to pray and speak to God and Jesus and tell them that people need to talk to you, then please leave it in the comments down below, because I have been a little bit pretty depressed for quite some time now. I mean, why do things have to be this way in this world and this day and age, that some people think that the world is like their world, like they're the king of the world and all that. I'm not naming and shaming people. I'm just saying that I'm sure there's people out there who think that the world is theirs, like they think they can just rule the world or something, and think everything can go their way, and think that things are theirs and all that, and think everyone can just do whatever they want and all that. But the world doesn't go like that anymore, or any way. Just, again, why do you think people think they can just do whatever they think they are allowed to do, when a lot of the time it's not always the case? I mean, there are some times when you can do things you want to do and stuff like that, but really, what can you do very much that isn't a sin and isn't turning away from God and all that? Because, as I said earlier, I'm a bit of a Catholic and a Christian. I think they're both the same, but I'm a bit of that. So, and I do try and talk to God and all that. But again, I find it hard to give all my heart to Him and all that, because I just can't explain why. It's just I find it hard to talk to God and all that. Does anyone in the world who watches this video have you spoken to God before? And if you had, maybe you can help me find out how to pour out all my heart and all my soul in that, and give God and Jesus the respect that they all deserve. And if you do, tell me, then I might make a video on it, on how to do it. I mean, everyone, I guess, has their different opinions, but just why do you have to find out yourself? I mean, there are ways, I'm sure you can. It's just sometimes you might need a bit of a push or a bit of a hand with pouring out all your heart and all your soul to God. I mean, I've had an aching heart for quite some time, and I've wanted to tell God I'm sorry and I'm a sinner and all that, and I just want to speak with Jesus and all that. But the thing is, I'm not exactly sure how to. But other than that, though, I mean, how can you? I mean, things happen, I guess. So just how does it work? How can you speak to God and Jesus without going through so much trouble? I mean, sometimes you might think or believe you might be doing a sin, and sometimes you could be right. But other than that, though, I mean, how can you? I mean, how can you know if you're sinning and doing wrong things? I mean, sometimes you know, but sometimes you don't. If anyone out there can help me, then please say in the comments down below. I'll be happy to hear from you. But until next time, I'm Joshua Rudd, and I'll be looking forward to hearing from every one of you.